Welcome to Innovation City, a podcast featuring the innovators, creators, and disruptors who are changing the way that business happens. My name is Tyler Kelly, and we are in the middle of our top 20 countdown of our first 2 seasons. We have over 120 episodes out there, and we've had some really amazing conversations. And today we have Pilar Guzman Zavala of Half Moon Empanadas. It's a Miami success story. If you're walking through the airport, they have locations there. They're in the convention center. They are everywhere, and her story is really amazing. In this clip, she talks about giving back to her community and what it means to be a successful entrepreneur.
I had worked with my foundation. I worked in the government in Mexico. I worked in the World Bank in DC. And I'm like, I think I already tried these places where I thought I was going to make my difference. Let me try the business side. And today, after 10 years, I tell you, I am completely sure that entrepreneurship and being a business owner is the best place for me to make a difference. I'm creating jobs. I am raising people, not only in terms of salary and money. You know, you also raise people's heart, you know. I have a company where I'm proud to have 70% of women employed. We promote people from within. So I'm trying to build something more than just a company, a place where people feel, you know, happy and they can grow with us. That's where I get so excited to see people like, okay, you got promoted, now we're growing, and that is where I find my peace with this.
So I want to go back to something that you said earlier. You said you're not a success until a certain thing. So, but for you, like, what really is the vision? And maybe you have a vision for your company, but you also have talked about kind of all these impacts that you're making as well.
Yes.
So like what is your vision personally for both?
So that's a good question. It's a big question. So my vision for Half Moon Empanadas, I dream to have a company that is a national name, that is in every airport of this country and in many of the universities, stadiums, and places. So that's as far as Half Moon Empanadas. I started a couple new businesses. I started one specifically about empowering women, and it's called Alma Mia. It's not yet in the market, but it's in the works, and it's about empowering women through artisanal made jewelry. So I will be very happy if I'm able to also create this business where I also help, you know, Latin American women, because this will be Latin American designers and Miami designers showcased in an airport location. So personally, you know, my dream is to be the mom that my kids need. That's the number one dream and priority, to be there for them. And I just want to be able to grow my company, help the people along the way, and have, you know, see a better Miami when I am older. What do I mean by a better Miami? You know, like I was kind of thinking about this, you know, the challenges and the opportunities in the city. Like, we're a city that we sometimes don't talk to each other. We don't work together. And so I would like to see us, organizations like, you know, the WINlab, Venture Cafe, the FIU Startup, all of these places to collaborate in projects, because I think that's the way you create systemic impact. So if I can be a little piece of that, I'll be happy.
Yeah. So you're talking about specifically a vision for women and for Latin women. Mm-hmm. What are kind of the challenges that that those groups of people are facing?
Yeah. So I think one of my biggest sort of I realized that. So I was at the Harvard Business School in a program called the Young American Leaders Program last year. And, you know, I was very shy. I wasn't sure. It's a group of it's like 10 different cities that go to Harvard Business School. They study success cases of cities. And then you try to come up with, like, you know, projects or solutions. And as I'm seeing that, you know, the best cases have been led by business people. And so there are a lot of non-for-profits, government people in the room, foundation people, some entrepreneurs. So I raise my hand, I give my opinion as to how I think I'm making my difference as a business owner in Miami. And then we finish that, and there's a lady from the Seattle group comes to me and she says, Pilar, do you realize that you are Hispanic? You're a minority, you're brown, you're an immigrant, and you're a kick-ass entrepreneur? And And I don't know if it was that, and it was a stepping outside like my bubble of the day to day that made me realize, like, you know what, it's true. Like, I have done a lot of work. I've killed myself for these last 10 years. I have a company, you know, and I didn't realize it. Like, I didn't see it. And so I'm thinking to myself, if I feel like that, you know, how others feel, right? So I decided that I needed to get engaged with these groups of women. I decided that I want to speak up and I want to share, you know, I wanted to own my place, who I am and what I do, and share that with other women because I think that we're missing that. You know, we need to own who we are. We need to own the success, the fears, the opportunities that we bring as women in the workplace. And I say women entrepreneurs because that's where I can share more of my experience, right? Yeah. The being a mom and working and being an entrepreneur, it's one of the hardest things. Yeah. So that conversation about balance, I always say it's not true. Like, that doesn't exist, right? So I try to share that. I just feel and I see that women want to hear that. They need to hear that because we feel sometimes lonely. Yeah. Yeah.
So along those lines, I mean, I understand that is a big problem among women, but I think it's a big problem among certain entrepreneurs as well, that they don't internalize their success and own it. Like, I think you have this kind of pattern of people that feel like they're faking it, or they just for some reason can't internalize and own their success. So have you found ways, like you talked about, someone told you you're a kick-ass entrepreneur. Like, how have you found that you can kind of internalize that and then? Yeah,
so when I look back, I didn't know when it was happening. I didn't know that was kind of one of the impacts. I talk about my mentors. They helped me with very specific things, right? Like, they opened doors for me. But looking back, they were the ones who told me, yeah, I believe in you, and I'm gonna open the door for you because I believe in you. And so I think that having that voice and that person telling you, you know what, you're doing it right, and I believe you're a hustler, and I believe in your company, in your project, and in your capacity. When you have, as an entrepreneur, you have 1,000 doors closed on you. Like, there is so much uncertainty, there is so much, like, you're lonely. It's a very lonely place to be. And so having those, I call them in Spanish, hilos, like I call them like your support system of people. You have to have that. You have to find ways to when you feel stressed, to let it out. Like, I talk to some women entrepreneurs and I sit down and I'm like, I think that's important. But it was other people telling me, and then I think I finally owned my place. I realized that, I've sacrificed a lot. I did everything. Like, I can tell you 1,000 stories of things that I did. There was one time that nobody at the Fontainebleau, I was trying to sell the empanadas as a catering. They would not pick up the phone. Like, it's really hard to get to a chef. So I got tired of it. I took my bag of empanadas in a pizza bag, put them there, drove to the Fontainebleau, in the back where the food trucks come. And I said, where is the chef's office? And it's like, I didn't know the hotels, right? This is like a humongous place where you have to go around. And I'm like, I'm asking everybody where. I get to the chef's, and the guy is like a tall German guy. And I remember, he's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, give me just 1 second. So I opened the box of empanadas and I'm like, please just try them. I've been trying to reach you. It's so hard. So I've done, and we got them, as customers. So as an entrepreneur, you try everything, and sometimes you do feel lonely. And I think finally I decided to just own it and understand that I've done my work, and I don't, like I told you, I don't feel that I'm there yet. I'm always going to continue to improve and to grow the business, but in a different place, in the place where I'm like, okay, but I know where I am. I've done my work. The experience that I've had, I'm gonna use it. And I think that's one of the things that I share with the entrepreneurs that I mentor.
That was a great interview with Pilar. If you'd like to watch the entire interview, you can get there at innovationcity.co. And if you haven't had an empanada from Half Moon yet, be sure to go get one today. Trust me, they're that good. Big thanks to Venture Cafe Miami and Venture Cafe St. Louis, our partners in collaboration for Innovation City. And if you've enjoyed this show, share it with somebody that you know, rate, review, subscribe. and we'll see you next week.